Life can change in an instant. For many wheelchair users, the struggle to push forward is a daily challenge.
After years of development and countless prototypes, we created Rib Grips, the revolutionary wheelchair hand rim covers with built-in ribs for ultimate grip and comfort.
No more slick surfaces, no more heat burns, just pure, reliable grip. Rib Grips, empowering you to push forward with ease. Rib Grips, get a grip on your freedom. Discover the difference. Visit ribgrips.com and use promo code GRIP today. You just found the perfect product that helps with staying cool during hot summer runs. No more gross warm water. Stay cool with this product from Gear Handle. This hydration tube cover helps keep your water cool and easily accessible. Stay hydrated during those long summer runs or even delay from freezing in the winter. Plus, they're compatible with various brands of water bladders and come in various colors. Visit gearhandle.com and use promo code H2O today.
BooBaes.
Well, hello.
And hi.
And welcome back to us because we were gone a week. And yes, sorry. We are your hosts, Caitlin
And I'm Joshua.
and this is BooBaes and
BooBaes.
BooBaes. And Caitlin was sick. I was sick.
Caitlin was on her deathbed.
Yeah, I went to Disney World.
Yay.
And yeah, that was super fun. Also super exhausting. My phone was like, "What is wrong with you? You're walking like an extra 20,000 steps a day.
Every day, yeah.
Are
That's
you
a lot
dying?"
of walking.
Yeah.
That's Disney World.
And I was like,
Yeah.
fine, phone. But yeah, it was rough. And then, of course, you know, if you're going to get sick anywhere, I would imagine it'd be Disney World in Florida.
Catching
And
something from someone walking
I was
by.
really worried it was COVID because, like, some people in the group got COVID.
Mm.
But I checked like 4 times, and each time it was negative. And
Yeah.
I just really think it was a sinus infection.
She's
But
a negative baddie.
that's right. But y'all would not have wanted to hear me last week because after
You sounded a little rough
Yeah.
when you talked to me that day.
and after that, it just went downhill, and my voice just like was like almost gone, and I was just like,
Well,
I'm
on
coughing a
behalf
lot.
of
Gross.
all BooBaes listeners, we are glad you are doing okay.
Thank you. I might still have some residual sniffling, so I apologize, but we're here
We'll work
anyways.
through it.
And so we're doing a movie now that we were gonna do last week, and yeah, it's called.
You're next.
That's right, 2013,
Yes.
right?
No, 2011.
2011.
Yeah.
What the heck? Why did my Apple TV say 2013?
I'm not sure.
I'm
pretty sure it's
dumb.
2011.
It is 2011,
Mhm.
according to Google right here.
Yeah.
So, oops, directed by Adam Wingard.
Mm-hmm.
What else has he done?
He's done a few other movies. Off the top of my head.
King Kong?
Yeah, there you go. I was
Oh.
like, I know he's done a big one.
He did VHS too, or was in on it. He was a director for VHS. Godzilla versus King Kong.
Mhm.
Oh, he was a
Blair Witch.
Blair Witch 2016. Oh God, he was a part of the live action Death Note. That was terrible. VHS 2.
I didn't watch Death Note.
Yeah, well, it would be better to watch the actual anime.
Yeah, that was the one with the dude from that Nickelodeon show, right?
Oh, probably. I don't know.
think
It
so.
was terrible though.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I don't want to get the IMDb app. Thank you.
Yeah, no, don't do it. It's okay. I mean, it's all right. He's also the same guy from Hereditary.
Nat Wolff.
So yeah, he's also in Hereditary.
He is?
Uh-huh.
Oh, Lakeith Stanfield was in it. Oh, he played L. What? Really? Why did I think maybe I turned it off. I was like, this
We'll
fucking
see.
sucks, and turned it off.
And so, anyways, Adam Wingard directed all of that other stuff, and now.
It was released in August 23rd, 2013 in the USA. What?
Really?
That's so weird, yeah.
But I feel like I remember it coming out. Maybe it did come out in 2013 to me.
But it definitely says 2011 here.
I'm
and
pretty
then
sure I watched
release
it.
date 2013.
That's interesting. Because I'm pretty sure I watched it when I was in high school. And I was already graduated by 2013.
Yeah, same.
Yeah.
I don't know. Budget $1 million.
But anyways.
Has 79% on Rotten Tomatoes, 6.5 IMDb, and 85% of Google users like this movie.
Nice.
But
I mean, that's kind of...
we don't care about any of that.
Yeah.
So.
But that's a good range to be in. I feel like it's pretty fair. Like, more than fair.
2011/2013, question mark, is what I'll put in my notes.
And so, yeah, the movie is basically, it's like home invasion style. Yeah, for sure. Definitely. Yeah. Just like how The Strangers was, but it definitely has more characters in it and has more things going on, and has one really badass protagonist.
Mm-hmm. Final girl.
Yeah.
Final girl vibes.
Mm-hmm. Like, I would want to put her in a movie with other final girls and see who is the final girl.
Oh, yeah.
The champion. The
tournament of finals. Final girls.
Yeah, literally. But I guess we'll just get into it. Before I mean, I liked it. I like it. I'm kind of the one who suggested it, so I guess already I'm a little biased. But I hadn't seen it since way back then, so I'm rewatching it.
I had never seen this. I watched it twice. It was, well, we'll get to there, but I mean, there were some parts I was like, I mean, literally from the get, I was like, one of these motherfuckers is in on it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. And Crispy gave me those vibes. Also, what the fuck kind of name is Crispian?
Yeah, the way it was spelled,
Crispian.
I was like, it's not Crispin, it's Crispian.
Yeah.
Like, yeah. Mm-hmm.
I just call him Crispy.
Okay. Yeah, we can refer to Crispy as Crispy.
But
that's fine. But yeah, I guess we'll get into it. Like, because the movie opens up pretty, like,
with an awkward
abruptly.
Sex scene.
Yeah, very awkward. Did not look enjoyable sex scene between this old guy and this young girl.
Yeah.
And so then,
her boobies are nice, though.
Yeah, we get some BooBaes. And then
he's autocorrected to Bobbies in my notes.
Who?
Boobies autocorrected to Bobbies.
Oh, yes.
I was reading it and I was like, Bobbies are good, though.
When I'm writing
in
the notes on my phone, they be like autocorrecting to other shit all the time.
Yeah.
And it throws me off. And I have to be like...
There's so many duckings.
And this, with this movie, I actually have a mix of paper notes and notes on my phone. Literally.
It's a nice setup.
Yeah.
I love it.
The way it's, yeah. Because I watched it 2.5 different times, I'd say. Yeah.
2.5.
Yeah, because I watched it 2 times, and then the other time I like fast forwarded to
the major,
like to plot. Intricate parts where I was like, okay, I want to like remember this part, remember that part. Yeah.
Smart. I just watched it twice. I watched it last night before going to bed, which so I got home from like a housewarming fun party. Yeah, just to like kind of get it in my brain.
Yeah.
And Andrew was having to drive back to Dallas last night, so I was like, I want to stay awake till he gets home. And so it was like I probably finished it at like 12:30, and then I woke up at 7 to watch it again, which is actually a good amount of sleep. But I also drank a good amount yesterday. So
that always, you don't get quality sleep when you drink.
Yeah.
No, yeah.
So that's why I'm a little sleepy.
I stayed up till I didn't get home till like after 1 last night because I went to go watch the late showing of Jurassic World.
Oh, fun.
Dominion. Yeah.
Oh, it's a new one?
The new one, yeah.
Literally, I feel so embarrassed every time someone is like, oh my God, have you seen the trailer for this new horror movie or something? Or just movies in general.
Yeah.
And I'm like, no. And they're like, what the fuck? Horror movies are literally your thing. And I'm like,
there are actually some coming out too.
I know. Yeah, there are some, like that Winnie the Pooh, the Blood and Honey one.
Yes.
I'm excited for that.
We should go watch it.
Okay, yeah. I want to watch that. And then I was talking last night with some friends who are also really into horror, and there's this one called The Black Phone.
Yeah, I just saw a preview for it last night. And the preview was literally like 10 seconds, the one we saw last night.
Nice.
So
I kind of love that.
I don't know what even it's about.
Good.
Yeah.
That's what I love movies.
And Nope is coming out.
Yeah, Nope is finally coming out.
Actually, though, so there was interjecting all of this in the middle of it. There was a preview for it in the trailers last night, and the trailers so far that I've seen on like YouTube don't really give that much away, and this trailer like kind of put a lot of stuff on, and I was kind of like, ooh, I was like almost wanted to like close my eyes and like close my ears.
I like to go in,
more blind, like maybe a little bit of like a basis, but like not know it. Like sometimes trailers nowadays just kind of give away a lot.
I think that's what I loved so much about when I saw Hereditary in theaters.
You didn't really know.
Yeah, I had watched the trailer, a few times before going to see it. And then I got in there, and afterwards I was like,
the trailer didn't
I was
give
not prepared for that at
Mhm.
all, and it was amazing, and I loved it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it gave me a little bit to be like, that looks good. And so then I went in, and then I was like,
Intrigued
what
just
the
enough.
fuck?
Yeah, and I really enjoy when you get to have that experience with movies because then you don't already have like a kind of preconceived idea what you're about to watch.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I was kind of like, oh, that kind of gave a lot away to me. But anyways, it's also Jordan Peele, so it's probably gonna
Just flip it.
Yeah, maybe that
turn
was
your whole
he's
world
like
upside
literally
down.
psyching us out with whatever that preview
Yeah.
is. I don't know, but I was like, okay. But anyways, back to the movie.
Yes.
Yeah, so we open up with that awkward sex scene.
Mm-hmm.
And then we have, old guy taking a shower. She's downstairs pouring and making herself a screwdriver, right? That's like
those
orange juice and
and
probably vodka.
yeah.
I was like, okay. But that's definitely, I guess they're trying to show
taste down.
age maybe, because I feel like that's a very like young kind of college, because they remember they later say like it's kind of like I feel like that's more of like a college thing to do, like just make some OJ and like some quick vodka, whatever.
No, I still do that.
Yeah. Well, to each their own. And then we have her like literally sitting on like the couch, or not the couch, but sitting on something.
Yeah, and after she just put in a nice little
Oh, the
CD into
record.
the disc changer, and of
Mhm.
course it says that it's on repeat.
Mhm.
So it gives us a nice, it's very reminiscent of The Strangers. I
Yeah.
felt like with the fun, upbeat, like kind of funky music choice. It's like oddly happy for the like, yeah.
The piano.
I
Yeah,
liked it.
literally,
And then, and then of course the disc just keeps repeating and repeating and repeating.
So
and
it never
repeating.
stops.
Yeah. And I guess it was only one song on that disc.
because it's the same fucking damn song.
Yeah.
Even when later on in the movie. And so we have her looking into like a mirror, and she sees like someone standing outside of the glass doors, whatever, the glass
Behind
pane
her.
windows. And so then
These masks are very much the ones on the wall behind you.
oh, literally,
Yeah.
that is literally them. Well,
Yeah.
minus that one, right?
Yeah,
it
there
was- A sheep, a wolf, and a bunny.
a bunny. That's what the
Bunny
other
was the one that died first.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. To me, at first, I was having trouble differentiating them because they all kind
Me
of looked
too.
the same to
Same.
me.
It really took me a minute as well.
Because they're all painted. They're all painted white,
Mm-hmm.
and so like these ones are colored and stuff that are on the wall here in the Rogue Media Network studios. But those ones are painted white, and they all, I don't know, to me, even though they're like clearly different animals, like they have different shapes. For some reason in my head, I was like, no, these are all the same fucking mask.
Yeah.
I was referring to them as like crossbow dude or something, and then finally I was like, oh, that one is a fox, isn't it? Okay.
Yeah. And same, me too for the beginning, and then you finally get to like kind of flesh them out because they get more like visible screen time. But yeah, so it took a minute as well, but I finally got to where I was like, okay, bunny, fox, and wolf. Yeah.
Yeah, I definitely figured it out more so on the second watch.
And definitely on the second watch and the third watch for me was like everything was so obvious.
Mm-hmm.
So obvious.
Oh yeah.
When I first watched this the first time in the theater, I just couldn't. But I was also younger, so maybe I wasn't hyper aware. I did not pay attention to that and then catch it later, and like it did like shock me. I was like, oh shit, what?
Yeah.
But,
I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know what it was. I think, well, first off, okay, to me, a lot of the acting in this movie was not that good.
it's not like
Yeah,
the most incredible actors.
the like
their acting,
parents
I mean,
especially.
the mom.
Their acting was pretty shit. And then Felix, he looked like
His acting was horrible.
He looked like he constantly was smelling something bad, like
Literally, I can see
like
that. Yeah.
lips puckered down in his nose, like
that
almost
one,
like it's being squisqueezed
there's
shut.
oh my god, literally. Then there's so many parts too where his like dialogue and the way he delivers it, like it's like especially that one
It
part.
feels like you're reading a script.
Especially at that one part whenever like he's like, "Oh man, I didn't know that was your brother. I mean, I knew you served."
Yeah.
But like, and I'm like, "Oh, it's very cringe."
Yeah. There's one point where Erin delivers a line too, where she's like trying to clean something up, and she goes, "Speaking of," and like runs off to the kitchen to get
the water.
tools. Yeah.
Or yeah.
And then you see the boiling pot of water.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that line also felt a little
Little
scripted.
forced. Little
Yeah.
script.
I was like, Oh, she could
Yeah.
have just been like, oh, fuck. And like, God, I don't know. We
But-
didn't direct it.
We didn't. No, that was Adam. And so we have her basically getting slain because we don't really see it. And then we have the old guy coming out, and he's drinking her drink, I guess, right? It was her drink, right?
Yeah, he just
He didn't
picks
make
up
one.
a drink.
Yeah. Anyways, there was a drink. He started drinking it, and then he sees like "your neck's written in blood" on the window.
And he's remarkably fucking calm.
Yeah,
For seeing it, he's just kind of like, oh,
on the
what
screen
is
door.
it? And like
Yeah.
wipes, tries to touch it with his hand. And I'm like, if I saw any sort of giant red lettering, A, I would automatically assume it's blood.
Yeah,
B, I would be like, oh, fuck no.
yeah,
Also,
no.
everyone lock your goddamn doors. When she went down earlier, the back door was just wide open.
Mm-hmm. Maybe because of where they live, and they feel like
No,
They're-
that's
'cause-
even more of a reason to lock your
Right.
fucking doors.
yeah. I don't know.
Ugh.
I feel like there is some ignorance there.
So many things can be avoided if you just lock your doors.
It's very true.
Scares me.
I'll start locking my doors.
Please. God.
And then that's whenever he sees the dead girl outside, right?
Yeah, he sees her and
her body, she's just kind of laying there, and then he gets killed with a machete.
right to the head.
yeah.
And like as he sees her, it pans out to the other side, or right before he sees her, and you get to see "your neck's written in blood." And that's a really pretty clever way to have the title card
Incorporate the title. Yeah.
come in. I was like, okay, that's pretty nice.
Yeah.
I liked that.
And I get it. And I also thought, like, why did they not, like, make it to where he could see it from his way, like, written out from left to right?
Yeah.
But then I thought, I guess they're not targeting really them. They're
Yeah.
targeting these
Them.
other, like, if they ever saw it, it'd be like, "You're next."
Your
So-
neck's from outside. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Which also, too, why? Because, like, the whole plot of, like, doing all of that, like, why even bother doing that? That just seems like torture. Like,
It is.
messing, fucking with them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyways, that's just,
Little unnecessary.
Uh-huh.
I would
But
say.
it looks good.
Yeah.
And so anyways, then we cut to our
Parents.
protagonist, Erin. Oh, no, the parents.
Yeah.
Right. You're right.
They're driving up, and this is where I put their acting as awkward.
And she doesn't
Literally 2 seconds in, I was like,
and it's kind of
"Ugh."
hard to believe too that like she's their mother because she does not look that old.
Oh no, yeah, she's young looking.
But I believe I looked it up, and when she was filming this, she was like 52
Hmm.
already, which I guess they could have been like young parents
Yeah.
kind of thing. But yeah, I was like, I can't like I feel like she's just like the oldest sister.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was waiting for like Granny to come in because even the like I felt like the dad was believable. He looked a little bit more seasoned.
Yeah, he did.
Uh-huh.
She looked. I mean, she looked really
But maybe
good.
that's wealth, honestly,
yeah,
too.
probably.
Yeah.
That probably is.
Mhm.
And as they were driving up to, there was this. So they make a point to be like, "Oh, the neighbor's home," blah blah blah, and that's where they're talking about him dating a younger girl and stuff.
He left his wife.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
and-
this like there's like a sepia filter or whatever
Yeah.
on that drive up, and then it's like the only time that
That
it's
it's there.
in the film.
I don't even think I caught that.
It just was like very muted, not like super, but it
on
just,
the house whenever it's pulling up on the big brick house.
Well,
or the
no,
neighbor's
as
house.
they're driving up, just like the first like shot of them, and as they're coming through, and they're like talking in the
Yeah.
car and everything, it's just very like yellowed,
Gotcha.
and it's all, I don't know, muted,
Mm-hmm.
and then they just get to the house and it like kind of goes back to normal. And I'm like,
I want to look at. I want to watch.
that's
it again
weird.
and try
I
to
don't know.
catch That.
It maybe, I mean, maybe it was just the lighting, but it really felt like I was like, this seems like an odd filter to place here. I don't know, but they get to the house.
Mm-hmm.
It's a beautiful house, really fucking
Yeah,
nice.
it's huge.
Mhm.
Yeah,
I would live there,
I would too.
1000%. I
Yeah.
mean, that's probably a little too big. I'm also confused at how small the kitchen is for the house.
Literally, right? That big dining hall room, all the other
And then
rooms,
it's
and then
like
the
a tiny
kitchen
little
was
kitchen.
tiny.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a cute kitchen, but it's something I'd expect in like a little,
It also
little
gave
baby
like
house.
that does make sense. It gave. I mean, I'm sure that house has been there for years and
Maybe
years
it's a
and years.
servant's
like
quarters.
exactly what I was
Mhm.
thinking. Yeah, and they don't because people back then didn't cook for themselves.
Maybe they're remodeling the big kitchen
maybe
too.
Yeah,
at that point.
Because they are talking about the whole movie about like how the dad had bought it as like his retirement project to fix up.
Mm-hmm. Which the retirement is a big part. That's his whole severance package.
Yeah.
So that's
which was a very big driving force in the plot of this, or the motive of this movie.
sure is. But they get there, and the dad fucking is like, "That's funny. It's open." And I'm like, "No, it's not funny.
Yeah.
Coming home to your door being open is never funny."
Because he's just like, oh,
and
nonchalant about it.
He walks one step inside and goes, "Doesn't look like anyone's been here." And it's like, bro,
by just taking one step
you have
inside.
been one step inside.
Yeah.
No, fuck that.
And
check the house.
And he's already immediately trying to think of like why it could be like,
oh, it was the workmen.
Yeah.
They left it open, and it's like, no, bro.
Yeah.
At any time, like, even if I left my house for like 5 minutes and maybe somehow like the door didn't quite latch, and I come back and the door's open, I'm like checking every single room.
All under the bed,
Yep.
under everything. Yeah.
Yeah, no, fuck
I
that.
feel that.
I don't trust no one. And then I don't check Levin's room because he's got like
That's
cameras
hilarious. Yeah.
in there, and so I'm like, and they're motion censored, so I'm like, if there's a camera,
someone's
like,
in there, then someone would.
Levin
then
would
he
already
know.
tell me. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm like, I don't check there, but everywhere else.
And so then we have and I think it was good to mention too that when they were driving past the neighbor's house, I don't remember how it was worded, but I remember they mentioned something about them being like isolated, like it's only them out there. There's nobody else out there with them.
They said it might be nice to have a neighbor since it is so isolated out here.
Yeah, literally.
And the mom was like,
literally.
I don't know if I want those neighbors.
Yeah, I think she was still hung up on him leaving his wife.
Yeah.
For the college girl. She was like, that's so sad.
Yeah.
And so back to the house. Yeah. He's trying to like, make it seem like it was the workers, and meanwhile mom is over there taking like all the big old blankets or covers off of like furniture and stuff. And while this is happening,
dust covers.
he is supposed to be in the basement like turning on the breakers and all the power in the house, and she hears a thud upstairs,
and it was a
very big
thud.
thud. Yeah, that ain't no raccoon.
Yeah,
I was like,
that was
a person.
Someone was upstairs.
Yeah.
The chandelier rattled. So it's like not. I mean, there was a physical evidence too that someone was up there. It wasn't just in her imagination, because sometimes old houses could have like a few bumps here and there when like, especially if a furnace is being lit or something. Sometimes it'll kind of go.
Yeah,
and,
I
like,
know what you
settle.
mean. I know, I've heard that sound.
Yeah,
before.
yeah. That was not it.
Yeah,
that was clearly
it
a
was
fucking
like
human.
someone was like, I
It
felt
sounded like they tripped.
Right? Yeah. Or I thought like maybe someone like was hopping off a bed, not hopping off, but like hopping very heavily off of a bed. I don't know. Yeah. And so, like maybe he was napping and then heard them.
Oh,
fuck, they're here. Shit.
Gotta get up.
Yeah, literally. And so go hide in the closet.
Yeah.
And so we have them. Then after that,
he comes up immediately, and she's like, "Were you just upstairs?" And he was like, "No,
That's
I was
right.
in the basement lighting the furnace."
And that's whenever she starts freaking out. She's like, "We got to get out of here. We got to run
And
because
that
there's
acting
someone in
was
the
so
house."
cheesy.
Yeah.
But also, like, I was like, "Yes, you do.
And
you need to get
literally
out."
listen to her, bro. And he's just like, "You go outside, and I'm gonna go take a look around the house and make
And
sure."
he picks up the weapon. He's like, "Do you feel better now?" And she's like, "No.
Yeah. And she's like, "We shouldn't split up.
We should go outside." Yeah, she's fucking smart.
Yeah. And so anyway, she does go outside, and he's going around looking in the house. It gets kind of eerie and creepy because he's looking around and shit.
Very silent.
Yeah.
They're making you hold your breath a little bit.
And at this point, interjecting and happening at the same time, isn't Erin and Crispy heading there?
Yes. Yeah. So.
And they're having their conversation in their vehicle about the parents and the family dynamic, I guess.
Yeah, and this is where he tells her about like, well, because she was like, "Your parents are loaded, huh?" And then he was like, "Well, yeah, my dad just retired from like KPG or something."
KPG, and I was like, the KBG? Anyways.
Oh.
I was he was a spy? Wait, for the Russians? Okay, but yeah, I don't even know what KPG is. I don't know what that was supposed to be. And she was like, KPG, the
KPG.
Yeah, and I was like, But apparently he was just in like marketing or accounting or something like that.
Some sort of like
financial.
Sounded like it was like a detective. I don't know.
Yeah, but yeah. And so he retired and he got a whole lot of money.
Yeah, big ass severance package. And so that's when, that was kind of a tipping point for me too, because the way that Crispy was like especially when they get into
Oh,
bed
yeah,
later
yeah.
too, and he's like, "It'll just be interesting." I was like, "I don't trust you, motherfucker.
Yeah.
I don't trust you."
He was alluding to a lot,
Yeah.
or being very cryptic, I guess, in a way.
It was more so apparent the second time. I got a bad vibe from Felix.
Same. Yeah.
But I almost wish it would have been Drake and Kelly, because I
Really?
wouldn't have expected that.
Same.
Like, I mean, they really made Z look the part.
That honestly should have been. Yeah, I could have seen that and been a better twist.
Yeah.
Because I could see Kelly have being like, maybe if her character didn't play the way she played in that way. At first, she kind of seemed like she was more like a bitch and like more like she could do something shady.
And like a holier than thou.
Yeah.
Kind of vibe.
Mm-hmm.
They both
to
gave
be her
off
motives.
vibes that they were better than all of them, and that like they were the
Maybe
superior.
They felt they deserved them. And then poor, what was the sister's name? I don't even remember.
Abby, I think.
Abby, yeah, poor sister. Like, her and her boyfriend, they kind of got the shit end of the
They
stick.
did. They were first to go.
Literally. And I feel like they were just like the babies who probably like she hadn't even been there in a long time or talked to them in a while. Yeah, I don't know. But anyways, yeah. So we have that going on with Crispy and Erin. They're having a conversation about all that. She was asking if there was going to be booze, and he's like, "There's no booze because my mom's on medications." And she was like, "We should probably stop and pick up some booze."
Yeah.
Which is always a great idea.
Mm-hmm.
And so then we have all that happening. They get to the house at some point in that, but we cut back to Dad still looking in the house, and that's when we have it being all like, "Oh, he's about to run into something's about to happen."
Yeah.
And then as soon as he's looking into a closet, or not looking into it, he's about to open it, and he's barely got it open. Crispy comes from behind him and like scares him.
Grabs
it's the first
him.
kind of jump scare that we get from the movie, and he's like, "Hi, why is Mom crying outside?"
Yeah, I don't want to start on a bad note, but why is Mom crying in the driveway?
Yeah. And then we have them both walking out. They're gonna go to see what's
at this
going.
point, yeah, I put this motherfucker is 1000% in on it.
Oh yeah.
Because of the way he looks after he like talks to his dad, the way he looks around and is like, kind of, I'm like, yeah, I don't trust him.
The first time I watched it, it wasn't as apparent to me, but also too, in watching it back, I feel like they could have made it more. They could have made it not as obvious. I feel like, yeah. But anyways, we have them going back outside, and the mom is outside with Erin, and they're all kind of meeting each other right now in this moment, and the dad's saying to her like, "There's no one up there. There's no one inside the house."
We checked every room,
and I don't
which
feel
no,
like
you fucking didn't.
I don't really. That
feel
was
like
a big house.
Yeah, I feel like they just came right downstairs.
Literally.
So, and that was it.
And so we have them going back inside, right? They're wanting to go back inside. The mom's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry, you're embarrassed," but to her, little Krispy Kreme. And so we have them then going to that's when they have the 19, right? And she's like in the bedroom. They're in the bedroom.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and that's whenever I guess she's asking him about like, the brothers and sisters that are coming the next day and stuff, and he's like, it's gonna be interesting. And so then we have the next day, and I guess he still
the mom looks really pretty with their hair down.
Oh, that's right. I mean, she's a beautiful woman.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Whenever she came
Her
down in
hair
her
is so
little
pretty.
night dress, though.
Oh, I forgot about that.
I
part.
was like,
You're right. Yeah.
Damn. I was like, she looks so nice.
Yeah.
I love it.
The little silky silk. Yeah. Yeah. And
which I never understood how women like sleep in those. Like, I feel like it just would right up,
in all the wrong places.
Yeah, and then you just like wake up with your whole
hoochie
booty
out.
out. Yeah.
And then also too, so at this point, because she's down in the kitchen, it's supposed to give the like someone's watching her. Because we're looking from the outside of like the house through windows.
Yeah, because you see the little reflection there.
And so. And it's the way that those are very faint, because sometimes I would catch it, like I caught some the third time that I didn't catch the second time.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like the one of the girl with in the beginning, the college student.
Oh yeah, that one was like, really faint.
It was faint. So
you
like,
had to like.
I like over here in this notes right here, I said girl looks over her shoulder, something's wrong, because she looks over her shoulder after she sees him, but I didn't realize that she had seen him in the mirror. Yeah.
Yeah, it panned in on her face a little too long, and I was like, I feel like there's something there, but I also wasn't certain. I was like, I can't really tell if like there is, but
yeah. And so then the next day, we have Erin in the living room talking to Drake and what's her
Kelly.
name? Kelly, who had already arrived. Crispy was still asleep, I guess, so she was downstairs with them, and they're just all kind of talking. Drake is kind of an asshole.
I put Drake is a prick.
Yeah, because of the way he's like
Motherfucker.
referencing, like talking about Crispy, and he's like, oh, he was like, what did he say? He was like basically like body shaming him.
Yeah, he
Yeah.
was. Yeah, he was fat shaming him.
Yeah, and they and Crispy and him start doing this little like weird, I guess I don't know, do brothers do this?
Just fighting.
Start roughhousing, but it's
Oh, yeah.
basically more Drake just picking on him.
That's what I mean. My brothers do that.
Yeah.
Basically, they'll just be sitting there and then they'll start hitting each other, and it's like y'all are like 23 and 25. What are you doing? Oh no, they're 24 and 26. Damn it.
It's
I
time
forgot.
flies.
Yeah.
And so we have all of that happening. We have then not Kelly, Erin going to the kitchen to ask the mom if she like needs any help with anything. And so then the mom was like, no, but then weirdly just says,
You know what? I'm out of milk. And at that point, I was
And
like,
doesn't-
wait, is the mom in on it?
but doesn't like she just says, you know what, I'm out of milk, and like doesn't say like, can you go get me like
Yeah,
it's
she
like
just
this
kinda
really
stares.
long pause like
And-
and then Erin has to be like, oh, okay, do you want me to go get some?
Mhm.
Yeah. And so yeah, she tells her that she can go to the neighbor's house and go get the milk because apparently the neighbors are there, and you know,
Which
quote,
she's
unquote.
really sweet because I fucking want to go,
yeah, right.
especially not by myself.
And why? And to the neighbors for milk? That's who does that?
Yeah,
I'd go to the store.
I would go to the store,
like the closest gas station. I know the gas stations. I will
I
get you
guess some
3 of those
people,
Oak
like-
Farms little like 16-ounce bottles.
Yeah, I guess some people are more like friendly with their
Other
neighbors.
places like that. Yeah.
I just like.
Well, I
know
mean, friendly is one thing, but I don't know, but like in the terms of like back, like how people you know in old time movies and shows, it's like you can go ask the neighbor for a cup of sugar or something like that.
Yeah.
Like I don't
No.
know.
So many people have been like, you don't know any of your neighbors, and I'm like, yeah, I don't know a single one, because I'm not gonna fucking talk to them. Like,
Yeah, I mean, I don't talk to my neighbors like that.
yesterday I was putting some stickers on my car, and someone walked up and they were like, "Hello," and I was like, "Don't fucking talk to me. I don't fucking know you."
Starts
Like,
barking, starts
yeah.
hissing.
I was like, I'm busy.
Yeah.
Clearly putting.
Oh, the
my little
stickers. Yeah,
stickers
I
on my
saw you
car.
a story. It's cute. And so, yeah, we have that whole interaction with the brother and Miss Kelly, and so then we have her asking for milk. She's gonna go to the neighbors, and then we have her going outside, and Crispy is with the dad, and they're just kind of having this conversation, and the dad's asking Crispy about like his work, and was it an internship or something that he was supposed to be
Yeah,
having going on?
It was a
Something fell through.
oh crap, a fellowship.
A fellowship, yeah.
Mhm.
And so basically, things didn't go the way Crispy wanted them to go, and so
And his dad's basically like, well, other unpublished people give the fellowships all the time, and it's like, okay, well, fuck you, Dad.
yeah, the
I didn't get
dad's not helping at all. So I mean, you can tell the dynamic there. I mean, there's a reason why people probably
Sorry.
get to the
Confused
notion
me.
of like wanting like the way he's. I mean, because if you think about it, it's really dark. We have these kids killing their family.
Mhm.
You know, two brothers killing their mom and dad and their siblings.
because they want money.
Because they want money, but also I feel like there's probably also a long line of like just
Not being the golden children.
yeah, probably that exactly compared to the other two,
To
Drake and Abby.
yeah.
Yeah, and also just probably even the way that the dad was talking to him. I mean, that's also not cool. Like there's probably
Yeah.
a long line of like just
Little nitpicks here and there, but that doesn't excuse killing your family.
That's true.
Hey.
That's very true. And so anyways, we have her going over to the neighbors eventually, right?
Mhm.
But she is tapping on the
honestly some pretty soft knocks, and like, bitch, you can hear the door,
yeah.
but you can hear the music
music playing, yeah.
outside.
But it's the way she doesn't investigate it.
No, she doesn't. She
mm-mm.
just kind of
It's
goes, okay.
they're not here or they're not
Which-
paying attention.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah, that's
I
true.
mean, again, I
Mhm.
wouldn't have gone there in the first place.
Mhm.
But
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know. And anyways, it flashes up to Kelly and Drake getting ready because Drake's
Yes.
like, I'm gonna go check on her. And
That's right.
this is where you find out. Well, this is where Kelly's really playing her bitch moment.
Oh yeah.
And she's like, where did your brother even find that girl? Like, her accent, it's just so grating. It's so annoying. And I was like, or she was like, I bet she's pretty annoying. And it's like, bitch, she can't help her accent.
Yeah.
2, like, or B, she you don't even know her.
And this little thing that she's wearing the whole movie, I'm like, what is this little like?
Oh, like collar.
Yeah, it gave like how you said earlier, like holier than thou kind of vibes. Hoity-toity, very nose in the air. That's what her and Drake gave. Yeah.
Yep.
More her so though. But yeah, and then he tries to get really frisky with her, and she's not having it.
And then he's like, "You got any Vicodin?" And so they pop pills, so they're not perfect either.
No, yeah.
They clearly have some sort of drug addiction. Because then later on, too, he's like, I need drugs. And she's like, give me my purse. And it's like, who just like carries around Vicodin on them? No one.
Yeah.
Unless you are addicted.
Literally.
Or you're actually in pain.
What does Vicodin do? It's like a muscle relaxer, right?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. I will throw up if I take Vicodin.
Okay.
I can't take any sort of hydrocodone. I get sick. Anyways. So I don't understand how they do it.
Yeah, we have then after the little thing with that, Abby and Tariq, right?
Oh, I'm sorry. I think her name is actually Amy. I have it written here, Amy.
It might be Amy. Yeah. I really don't remember her name. I have her written down as like sister, I think, many times. Yeah.
I have Amy. Now we meet Amy, Tariq, Felix, and Z with 2 E's.
Yeah.
2 E's.
Z-E-E. And so, yeah, they're all outside. They're all meeting each other. And it's also, I mean, Z gives very awkward vibes.
Yes.
From the moment, like the whole movie.
Yeah, she just seems very like
disassociated from like what's actually going around.
Amy.
Yeah, it is Amy. Okay, yeah, and then Amy gives just like perfect little cheerleader. Like
she was so excited to be home to your family.
Yeah,
over the top, bubbly, just like Daddy, mommy,
literally. Like yeah, just exactly like that. And so yeah, then we have all of that going on. They get to like interact a little bit, and then we have the dinner scene. Right, they're all at dinner. They're all kind of having a little chit chat, dinner communication.
Drake once again being a fucking prick.
Yeah, because they're kind of prodding at Erin and Crispy's relationship and like if she was a student or not, because he kind of I guess has this like thing for dating. I feel like students in the past, because I feel like that's what they were alluding to. I feel like and so then that's whenever she was saying like, oh well, I was a student, but I'm not a student now.
Yeah,
and then Crispy said something about like it being not.
He said, yeah, she was my TA, but then we decided to stop that.
Because it would be inappropriate.
Yeah, we figured that wouldn't be like good.
Yeah, and he said it like more like nice, politely, and then the brother is like, oh yeah, that would be
a little unprofessional.
Yeah. And so he
says it under his breath, and then but
Drake's
just loud enough.
Gaslighting too, because he's like, well, that's what you said, and I'm like, that everybody knows that's not what he said. And so, anyways, yeah, we have them. That then ensues like a whole like stupid fight between all of them, or well, basically them two, but then everybody's like interjecting and stuff. And
the claws are out. Like
everybody's kind of fighting.
Dad's like, we are at dinner, and he's like, and I'm having a conversation with my brother.
Yeah,
and it's like clearly this family is
dysfunctional as fuck.
They are not getting along well.
Yeah, and so
probably
and it doesn't
the
feel
reason
like it's the first time, and it's why they don't all get together, and that's why he's gonna kill them and try to get the money. And we then have, while this is all happening, poor boy Tariq, he like notices that I guess something or someone is out of the window. He's seeing something, so he's like going towards the window. He's like, "What the fuck is that?"
And I don't understand how no one is like, "What the
noticing
fuck is Tariq
him?"
doing?
Yeah, literally, no one.
Yeah,
no one.
Everyone just kind of like keeps talking.
Even the people like the dad who's looking in his direction.
Yeah, and Amy, his partner,
doesn't.
I would be like, "Why are you getting up?"
Yeah, like literally.
I'd be like, "No, don't leave me in this situation right now."
Yeah.
And like also rude to just stand up from the dinner table, especially a formal setting like that. Or saying,
I would be like checking up on them and being like, oh, maybe my partner's feeling very uncomfortable because my whole family's fucking fighting right now in front of him. He's like, I'm gonna leave. This is a lot. So, anyways, yeah, he's looking out the window and he's like, what is that? And as soon as he's like mentions anything, an arrow gets shot through the glass and like right into his freaking eye.
Yeah, I think it's right in the middle of his forehead. Head.
Oh, you're right. Yeah.
Shot right in the face though. And then everyone, Even with the glass shattering, I'm like,
nobody
I know,
really notices immediately.
Yeah, I'm like, I know that it's really loud and stuff with y'all arguing, but I feel like you would hear the glass of a window.
Well, Erin
breaking.
Feels like the little shards and stuff. Like she's like this, but I don't think she's realizing what's happening because it's behind her kind of situation. But like, but everybody on the other side definitely should have been like immediately.
Yeah.
Whoa.
Because he kind of like slowly turns around and it's just like, and then everyone starts like slowly realizing what the fuck just happened, and they start screaming.
So he gets an arrow to the middle of his head, you guys, falls, plops on the floor. That's whenever everybody kind of finally realizes what's going on. They also start screaming, basically. Amy, formerly known as Abby, is screaming her head off. And then...
Because her partner just got shot in the face.
Yeah, which understandably.
Yeah, I would also.
And then we have them all freaking out because they're like, what the fuck is that? And so then we have like one more arrow come through the window, I believe. And then they're like realizing, oh, we're getting like fucking shot at. So then we have... Not all of them are getting down.
Yeah, no. Like the mom and stuff.
They have to like literally pull her down.
Yeah, a lot of them are just running upright still, and I'm like, get the fuck down.
And the only reason the dad is down is because I'm like, why did the dad fall?
I think he twisted his ankle.
I'm like, how?
Yeah, I don't know. I was very confused.
He was
by
like
that.
this, and then just like, ah.
Yeah.
And so, anyways,
I guess he just tried to stand up.
Dad falls for no reason.
Yeah.
And
I was confused by that both times
too. Out, and then Drake gets hit in the back, and that's pretty hilarious.
Drake gets shot in the back because he's trying to get his mom down at that point, and then finally the mom kind of starts to get down when she realizes like, oh fuck,
this is all really happening.
And throughout this whole time, Felix and Z are just kind of standing in the foyer, looking into the dining room, just being like, they're just watching.
Yeah,
like they're not.
There's no really big reaction from them at that point. And so we have then Erin instructing everybody to get down, to grab a chair, and to like get into the foyer across the way. And so they're all doing that. They all make a run for it.
And this is where
whenever Felix
someone is trying to call the police, because Aaron's goes into like
survival mode,
beast mode. Yeah. And she's like, we have to call. And she's like, I don't have any service. And then everyone else is like, oh my God, I don't have any service.
And the dad was like, I used my phone today.
Yeah. And then Felix like, they could be using a signal blocker. And then Drake starts throwing insults, and he's like, you fucking lowlife. Yeah. You would know about that shady shit. And it's like,
because he's like, you can get them for like $30 or $40 on the black market on the internet. Yeah,
he's like, they're illegal, but you can get them. And then I'm like, Drake, this is not the time to be throwing insults.
Literally.
And Felix is like, I'm just trying to help this situation. And it's like, they're still fighting throughout. It's literally, they have the most like childish bickering that happens throughout this entire like first chunk. Really do. And I'm like, y'all.
And during the gravity of the situation,
dying.
And also Felix, you're in on this shit. Why are you acting all surprised? And also too, why would you tell them exactly what you already know was happening?
Exactly.
It's in your fucking trunk.
Yeah. Like, he gave it away.
Literally.
God.
Okay. And
Dr. Doofenshmirtz over here,
for real.
giving away his evil plan.
And so we have them all making it to the foyer, barely, narrowly making it.
By Erin instructing them.
Yeah. Erin really took like reins of the situation.
And so here during the music was going like but it sounded like knocking, and so at first I couldn't tell if like someone was like in the strangers they were just like fucking with them by like knocking on the doors and stuff,
banging and
I couldn't tell if that was it or if it was the music. And then finally after it happened like 6 times, I was like, okay, no, that's the music, because it keeps happening at the same intervals. But it confused me a little bit. At first I was like, what? And then it happens again later in the movie too. They bring
I'll have to pay attention to that next time I watch it. And so we have them getting all over to the other side, and then they're all like kind of basically, what do we do? What do we do? And I think it's is it Felix, the one that's like mentions, okay, we need to make a run for it. We need to get to the cars. We need to get out of here. Of course, he's the one who mentions it. And so then we have them all once again bickering of like who can do it. And then Amy is like, y'all never give me enough credit.
You guys never give me credit for anything.
I'm the fastest one.
I can run 3 miles in 23 minutes or something. Which that is pretty good. Yeah,
pretty fucking fast. Like literally. But yeah, so she's getting ready. They're like, okay, we're gonna open the doors at the last second because they'll never suspect you.
Felix also gives that advice, and so, which is like in theory, but I mean, he definitely knew
what was going on.
What was outside the door.
And so, anyways, we have poor girl. She was getting ready. She
They're
was gonna run
literally
for
so
her
dumb.
life.
I can't
Yeah.
believe that they were just willingly like able to send someone out there. Like I would send probably multiples.
Yeah.
I would at least do like a buddy system so that way you can watch your back or something. And then the
Most
parents,
definitely, or just even sending anyone out in general when you have no idea what is even out there.
Yeah.
It made no sense. Also to me, I'm like,
Erin, I think at one point was like, "No, we should stay here."
She literally was saying it. She was like, "No, nobody should leave."
And then they were like, "No, we need to go out there."
Yeah.
And I don't know. I just thought that was so dumb that everyone was like, so like, okay, yeah, you're gonna go out. I was like,
Yeah.
no.
And so we have her doing her little run. She gets all the way to running at the door. They open the door last second, and as she as soon as they open the door and she gets right at the door immediately, there's this fucking like fishing wire that they have lined up like neck level for her. And it's like he also knew how fucking they knew it was gonna be her. I don't know, but anyways, it's right perfectly at her neck, and she just gets sliced.
Yeah.
It looks so oh my god, painful. I'm sure.
Oh yeah, she was because you're seeing the blood do that little milk gallon pour.
Yeah, and then also too the way she hit it so hard that it flung her back.
Flung her back, and it got I'm guessing halfway into her throat.
Yeah,
into her neck, and then she's just gurgling and sputtering. And
yeah,
pretty gross.
Pretty
and then the mom's acting there was good.
Yeah,
her oh my gods and her screams. I was like, okay, that is very believable for me.
The way too that she was at this point, she's just I can't handle it. She was like, I can't. I gotta go to sleep. Yeah,
my nerves.
Literally. And so we have poor little sister. She's literally a couple's out. We have sister and Tariq. They are dead. She's bleeding out on the middle of the foyer floor. All the siblings are basically looking kind of in shock and disbelief. The dad's looking in disbelief. They're all just like, "What the fuck?"
And Erin pops up. She runs upstairs
all over again in survivor mode. And
going
that's
around.
when she goes locking all the windows
and doors. And I'm like, everyone. I was just like, she's like, we need to make sure that all of the windows and doors are locked. And I'm like, everyone needs to make sure that your windows and doors are locked at all times. Everyone, if you're at home right now listening, go lock your fucking windows and your doors. Do not leave that shit open.
PSA.
It's better to call a locksmith if you get locked out. That was like I said, that one time I got locked out of my house, and I was like, well, at least I know my house is fucking locked up tight.
That you can't even get in.
I could not get in. I had to call someone to come open my door.
We talked about that. I used to leave windows unlocked all the time so I can get in because I lock myself
My
out
brother
all
will
the
sleep
time.
with his window open, and I'm like, literally, this is the start of so many murders I've heard.
The LA Night Stalker.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we have her being in survivor mode. Mom is piecing out. She's got to go lay down.
This is where she texts 911.
She texts 911. She's telling Crispin in some areas, if you text 911, they can still get it.
Even if you just have one bar. Which I was like, that's cool. I didn't know that.
I didn't either. And that's also too. That was actually.
Is that a real thing?
It's a real thing because it was actually mentioned. Sometimes I say actually.
It was actually mentioned.
It was actually mentioned in the theater last night before the previews trailer started mentioning, because it said if you need to call 911, you can text 911 instead of calling 911. So I was like, that is maybe because of now we have to fear that someone can come just shoot up a freaking movie theater, or any other emergency.
Yeah, I was like, we should be concerned about that ever since Colorado, but
all
right, it happened in Colorado.
That's what happened in Boulder.
Batman one. Anyways, that's so fucking sad that has to be even
the reality. But so we have Crispy at this point also mentioning to Erin, I've never seen you like this before, what is this behavior? And she's just like, well, this is a unique situation. Which obviously, why would she would ever have to act like this?
Exactly.
Yeah. And so we have mom, as I think that's when the mom goes into the room, then that's when we get a glimpse of someone being under the bed, right?
Yeah. He should have stayed. The mom was like, please stay with me. And then he was like, I have to go check on the kids.
That's
and then, we get a good little thing of her crying, and then out pops a little hand from under the bed, which I did like. I liked that scene. Yeah, I was like, okay, cool.
Because at this point, it's very oh shit, she's about to get it.
Yeah. Yeah, she finna die.
Yeah, and so then we just have everybody's downstairs and we hear screams. And it's the mom getting
They really work
murdered.
fast, considering. I mean, I know they locked the door, so they had to kind of bust it open. But to get, I mean, her body was like displayed,
and then you're next on the wall.
Yeah, machete was like in her head. Your next was on the wall. And it's like, how the hell did they get that all done up?
Because
only like seconds after hearing her
screams, and they ran up the stairs. Yeah, I also was thinking that too. They're very fast.
Like, which, I mean, I guess like Drake does have to knock the door down. So I'm like, okay, they could have been struggling for a second, but I'm still like, that was pretty elaborate setup.
And then for him to get back under the, like, still have time to hide again. Yeah. And so anyways, we have them literally busting into the room. And of course, they're like, once again, that same kind of shocked look like they gave for their sister. Like, oh my God, mom's dead. Oh my God. The dad is like freaking out. And so they have to drag him out of the room and take him to like the staircase.
His acting there was also pretty good.
Because his wife is dead.
I have to see her.
Yeah.
And it's like, of course, it's their 35th wedding anniversary too. That's the reason they're all gathered. And it's just like, oh,
it's very sad.
Yeah.
And
because
so
your emotions got to be extra high, like heightened at that point.
Yeah. I want to mean like your spouse getting butchered after all those years. That's fucking, yeah. That's not, that's traumatizing. That's like, I'm surprised he didn't have a heart attack.
Yeah, for real.
And so we have then Kelly staying in the room, and she's kind of examining everything. She's looking, at the next on the wall, and then she goes to the window because she's like going to check and see like if it's locked or not, and it wasn't locked, right? Yeah, it was. It was unlocked.
It looked like it was open.
She's locking it, but that's when she hears something like under the bed, and so then she goes, and I really like this part too. She goes and she like does that thing when like a parent is looking for like a monster, you're looking for a monster under your bed. And she lifts the little curtain, what is it called? Little bed skirt. Yeah, it's bed skirt. And it's the way it's pitch black, but then he just like, pops his little masked face out.
He has a few moments where his movements are so like sudden. Yeah. Because there's a moment where someone, I think it's when Erin jumps out of the window and she looks up and then he like shoves his body through the window. It's very like sharp.
Or even, precise. And then whenever
it is startling
because at that same time I in my notes right here Erin is attacked.
Erin's attacked when she goes into the kitchen. Someone punches through the window, grabs her by her hair, and thankfully she had a knife in her hand and fucking stabs it into him. So she's already like, clearly she's got some hella fucking good survival skills.
She's got some fight in her.
And now we know that she's already at least injured one. Like that's gotta hinder you a little bit, being stabbed in the forearm. I mean, his arm was stuck to the fucking window pane.
He was struggling to get it off of there. And then whenever she was looking to get another, like, freaking instrument to, a device to use as a weapon against him, he got away. And so she's looking for him. She's looking for him. But he got away anyways. And so then we have all that shit going on with the mom, and then Kelly is looking under the bed, and then she starts freaking out.
She just fucking runs.
She literally is running away. Bolts. She's bolting down the stairs. She goes out the front door. She's saying,
doesn't even hesitate.
She's like, I gotta get out of here. She's saying something. I don't remember.
She's
but she's not even letting them know. She's not saying he's under the bed. He's under the bed. I'm like, can you let them know that the man is in the house? He's under the bed.
She's just like, nope. Every man for himself.
Literally.
And Drake tries to chase after her, but his fucking arrow's still in his back. And it gets caught on that hook or the wire, and he basically then pulls out the arrow from his back and then just
and then he sees I think because he sees the blood, he like passes out.
Yeah. And I'm sure, I mean, that's a lot of fucking shock for your body to have just gone through.
Yeah. And now, a word from our sponsors.
So Kelly ran out. It's the way that Drake passed out, and now we have Kelly running and screaming basically through the fucking wilderness.
Which seems like a terrible idea to me.
At all, because you're letting them know exactly where you're at. Yeah. We see one of the guys actually being behind one of the trees, and he's like, oh, okay, I'm going to go right after her.
Follow her now.
And so she runs to the neighbor's house, and she gets to the back patio that, like, from earlier, and she hears the music playing, and she sees the dude, like they have the guy that was there propped him up on the couch, so it looks like he's just kind of sitting there chilling. And so she's like banging on the door, being like, what's wrong with you, let me in. Yeah. And then finally she sees was it the Wolfman or was it the bunny?
I think this one was the lamb.
The lamb.
Yeah.
The lamb pops up behind her, and she sees just kind of how like the other girl from the beginning saw the reflection of the lamb from like through the mirror, but she sees it just in the window.
Yeah.
And he just literally just like
he punches her right in the face, and she goes through that window. Like,
literally.
So I'm like, damn.
Out of all of them, Kelly's death by far I feel like is the most like.
Yeah.
She went through it.
Yeah.
Because she went through that. He's then throws her on a glass coffee table. Mm-hmm. She's then just like crawling through the glass for her life, and then he finally gets a fucking axe
and just golf swings
like whenever they do croquet.
Yeah.
Was that what it's called? Croquet. Yeah, like a little and just like right into her skull.
Into her head. Yeah. I liked and then the scene afterwards where the guy just sits down and like with Kelly and the neighbors' dead bodies as the music repeats. I liked that. Mm-hmm. I was like, this is a nice little scene. He just looked like content with his work.
Very
much so. Sick, but it was good.
Demented, but it gave a good like scene picture, whatever you want to call it. And so then we have I was like Sheepman, it was the lamb, he's Sheepman chilling, and then we have them back at the house and we have Crispin basically saying, I'm gonna leave.
I put fuck you, Crispy,
literally,
like, what the fuck,
I'm gonna leave and go get help. Obviously Kelly made it, so I'm gonna go make it. And then
obviously Kelly did not make it,
and I love how Felix and Z at this point are looking at him like, you motherfucker.
He was like, you're just gonna leave,
you're just gonna, or this is not a part of the plan. I can feel, but he can't say that in front of Erin right now at the moment. So he's just like,
and Dad.
Yeah, and Dad. That's right. And so that's whenever Crispin,
his reasoning for not allowing Erin to come with him as well, being like, well, someone's gonna have to carry Drake, and well, Dad clearly can't walk right now. It just seemed very like, you're not very good at making up excuses, are you, bud?
Yeah, he's dumb. And so we have him. That's
why he didn't get the fellowship.
He ends up fucking leaving. Even though at that point too, Erin was telling him not to go. Not a good idea. And at that point, on my notes too, I'm like, oh, he's definitely not coming back.
Yeah.
No. And so we have then Erin at that point. That's whenever I think this happens. Whenever you said she's like, oh yeah, and she runs to the kitchen and starts getting the hot water. Or she had hot water like boiling.
Oh, yeah, I think so. Yeah, whenever.
Because the dad is like, I'm going to go check upstairs or something to go, I don't know.
Because she says, like, oh, well, clearly someone's in the house. And he was like, you think the person who killed my wife is still in this house? And she was like, I'd assume so, yeah. Mm-hmm. Basically.
And so he's like, I'm going to go find this motherfucker.
And then once they, like, can't, she's going, to bring them all. They had thrown Drake in the corner, by the way.
Oh, yeah, that's right. They put him in behind the curtains, right? Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it's like a somewhat of a little alcove there.
Or like maybe where like people read books, like those little things. Yeah.
But without the bench. I don't know. It was odd.
Yeah.
Because there was enough room for him to be completely hidden by
and she hides in that same spot later. Yeah.
Exactly. But yes, they were doing something, and then basically she's like, I'm going to go get weapons. And it was that point where she was like, speaking of.
And
which just felt like very like high school theater skit or something.
And maybe also because of the accent. I don't know. I can see that. But yeah, she had at some point put water to boil on the stove. And so she's going to like turn it off, I guess. And she's kind of looking out the window to see if there's anything out there.
And she's on her way back with the weapons when all of a sudden some glass explodes behind her. And this part's savage AF.
Right.
How they fucking broke the glass with Kelly's body.
Fucking Kelly, man. They literally throw her.
Again.
And it's the way at this point, Erin's on the floor, and so the dude's like about to like swing an axe at her, and she then rolls really fast and then gets up and fucking just starts pounding him with the meat cleaver, right? Yeah, with the meat tenderizer. Yeah, and she goes in.
She goes ham.
Yeah, she wants to make sure he's dead, so she beats the heck out of him. She really.
When you get a little bit of you can see the like blood in the hair mixing, like, and I was like,
meat pieces, like, look.
And my closed captioning said flesh squelching, and I was like,
oh no, yeah, that's a bad band name. Squelching flesh.
Squelching flesh. That sounds better.
And then so we have then Z and Felix just like fucking watching her as she does it, and it's the way she like is just looking at them, and she like takes off the mask and lifts it at him. She's like, "Does anybody recognize this man?"
Yeah.
And he's
you know
like,
this motherfucker?
and they're like, "No," but then Felix is like, "Well, it's kind of hard to tell now."
I was like, boy, this is not the time for jokes.
Yeah, and so then we have her being like, "Okay, then," and then she just drops his little head, and then they start. Kyoshi, dad gets. Oh, that's whenever we go up to the dad, right? He's upstairs.
Yes, I'm sorry.
No,
Yes.
you're good. Because after that, dad is upstairs and he's looking around. That's when he finally opens up the closet and he sees that someone was literally like living in the house, because there's a sleeping bag and there's like all these
And the wife was
wrappers and
fucking
water.
right.
There's like a pee bottle in
Yeah.
there. Yeah.
And as he
why
picks
wouldn't
up
you just use the
the
restroom?
bathroom, I know. Unless, like, I guess if somebody ended up like staying in that room,
I guess.
and then he needed to. But yeah, before that, he used the fucking bathroom. And as he picks up that pee bottle, the light goes out, and so then he's going to find, which I guess the breaker box actually is upstairs, because it looks like that's what he turns on. But as he's walking towards it, we see one of the animal head people walk
by.
past, and then so then he opens the breaker box or whatever, is flipping him, and as he closes it. That was a good little jump scare with it being Felix instead.
Yeah. But also gave, whenever he was like behind him for a minute, it gave me the Strangers vibe whenever the friend came to visit.
Yeah.
And he was right behind him, ready to
Yeah.
like, yeah. And so, anyways, yes, but it's the
It
jump
was
scare.
a little bit cheesy though, how it like all of a sudden panned. It's like the camera. I don't know if you remember. It zoomed in on Felix's face there. It went like boom.
Yeah. I remember.
And I was like, that was a little much, but I did like that it ended. It was Felix instead
of like just immediate death.
Yeah.
And then we have
That kind of reminds me of Scream 5. Whenever you remember when
which one? I mean,
Wes,
what part?
Wes's character.
Oh.
Was in his house and he kept closing every
yes,
opening.
So like the cupboard,
It
the
gave
fridge
us like
door.
5.
It's like,
yeah.
yeah.
It was kind of like that.
Yeah,
And
a lot of psych outs.
of course there actually was someone behind it, but it wasn't who we thought.
It was his mama.
Yeah.
Yeah. But then so we have the dad being like, there's someone been staying in the house. I just found like whatever they've been squatting, and then that's whenever
Our family is being targeted.
he's like, do you understand what I'm telling? And then literally gets his neck slashed by the
Whichever one it is.
whichever one of the animals that came up and popped behind him.
I think this
And
was
it's
the
the way-
fox.
Yeah, and
Because
the
it
way
was
that
the
he's-
asshole man.
That's right, and it's the
Yeah.
way that he starts like grabbing for Felix and puts blood on his face, and Felix is like, ugh, like disgusted
Felix
by him
literally
touching him.
looks so gross. He's
Yeah.
like, you don't touch me with your blood.
Like literally lets him fall to the floor, and I think that's when the dad
He's just
is
kind of
like,
watching.
yeah, and the dad, I think in that instant of a moment right before he's like dying, is like, oh motherfucker, like
Yeah, because Erin and Z are just standing. Or
watching
not Erin
him.
and Z. I'm sorry.
Felix
Felix
and Z
and
are
Z.
just like watching him die.
Yeah.
And so yeah, and then that's whenever Felix is like, did you really have to do that in front of me?
Yeah.
To the dude.
And that's when, we get the confirmation that they are
In on it. Yeah. Z and Felix in on it. And then we have after that, what is Erin doing at that point?
So-
shows her right?
I'll drink it in Aaron Sab's cross, but I'm not. I think she's still downstairs.
She's
She
doing
just got done
something.
fighting that guy, and I don't know what she. Oh, she went down to the.
To the basement.
She went down to the basement.
That's right.
That's right. She was going to get more.
And that's when
tools
she
and
finds
stuff.
like that camera at first, and we see it's like foreshadowing, right?
Oh, that's where she. Okay.
Yeah, she
I
saw the
missed
camera.
that.
She saw the camera and stuff down there.
Because later
already.
on, I was like, "Where the fuck did this camera come from?"
Yeah,
Okay,
it was
I
already
missed
down
that.
there, and she was looking for stuff. And when she was sifting for like the weapons and stuff, she saw it.
I see. Okay, cool. Well,
And-
good. I'm glad that was there, because later on I was like, "What?" I was like, "This is a really cool way and like a really fucking neat death."
Yeah,
And it looks awesome, cinematically. It
Yeah.
was just very good.
but we were like, where the fuck did that camera come from?
yeah, I was like, great planning, but how? And
Yeah.
so, okay, great. I'm glad that it actually was there, and I just missed it.
And so then at that point, that's whenever we have
Crossbow Man finds his dead
brother. That's right, because
Who we don't
she
really
was about
know.
to come up from the basement, and she's in that little stair, whatever way, right behind the door.
But he
and
flips
so
the fucking
he
table.
He flips out because he finds his brother there dead, and he's like, "Oh my god," yelling in anguish. And so we have then her making a noise by accidentally hitting like a screwdriver,
broom.
a broom. Yeah. And so he's like, goes over there, and we get that little moment where she's looking through the keyhole, and his eye pops up.
Of course it does.
And so then he's like, of course, bashing through the door.
But then fucking Drake crawls out.
Yeah.
He's just like, hey, what? Oh.
Yeah. And
so
he
funny.
has an axe in his hand.
Yeah.
And so then we have that dude going towards Drake, but then she comes out and stabs him in the like fucking shoulder neck area.
In the back, with the screwdriver.
With the screwdriver. And that's whenever he's like, and he runs away. And because
and Drake's
then
like, what the fuck is going on?
And she's like, we hid you because, you know, we wanted to protect you. And then he's like talking, he brings up Kelly or something.
He's like, where's Kelly?
And she's like, we don't know. Yeah, we haven't seen her.
Yeah, she didn't want to tell him yet that
she was dead.
Yeah. And
so then we have Felix and Z come back, and they're like, what was going on? And then
we heard noises, so we stayed upstairs.
At this point, they're very incriminating. And so then we have them splitting up. So Felix and Drake, they go downstairs because they're gonna go get more weapons. I don't know, they need something.
They're gonna get weapons, and Erin and Z are collecting wood and nails to make those little booby traps
that she's putting right next to the windows, which are facing upwards. So like if you come out, you know, from outside, you step on it, which has got to be excruciating.
Oh yeah, I've stepped on a nail before. Cracked. It hasn't gone all the way through, but it's not a pleasant feeling. That before. Yeah, don't do it.
And so that's whenever we have Z talking to Erin, and she's kind of asking her like, can I ask you, like, how do you know all this stuff? And Erin explains that she grew up on a survivalist camp because her dad thought that the world was going to go to shit, and
got pretty paranoid after she was
her
born.
mom to Australia, and
they lived in the outback, and they found just a few other people who believed the same thing, and it was just a survivalist compound. And she said she moved back to the States when she was 15 with her mom. And but she learned a good amount beforehand, which is like, well,
enough,
came in fucking handy.
Literally stayed with her.
She knew a lot.
And at this point, we also have Felix and Drake having their conversation down in the basement, and that's whenever Drake is saying like, I need to go get Kelly, I need to go find her, and Felix is like, what? She's dead.
Oh, you didn't
know? Oh,
she's been murdered.
I didn't want you to find out like this.
Literally upstairs. And it's like, what a fucking insensitive way to break it to him that his fucking wife is dead. Fuck you, Felix.
And then he's like, Felix is saying all that, and then Drake is like, shut up, stop talking. And then Felix just fucking starts stabbing Drake. And it's not just one or two, like literally stabs him like 4 or 5 times, and then he's saying, why won't you just die?
He was like, would you just die already? This is hard enough for me. And I'm like, you fucking bitch.
Yeah.
It's hard enough for your family that you're murdering.
For real. Yeah. Felix was not a likable character at all. Him or Z, really.
Yeah. No. Z looked like...
Or Crispy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so we have him killing Drake, essentially, and Drake is then realizing, oh my shit, it's fucking Felix. And then he was right, he's a lowlife. And so Drake then falls to the floor. And it's the way that he fell too, because I know he fell like facing forward. He just like pushed all those way in him. Anyways, and so we have Erin then talking to Z, and they're putting down more boards, and it's the way that she's putting down a board, and then Z's behind her and almost kills her because she's about to whack her, but then Erin turns around right at the right time, and Z like tries to pretend like she was just handing her the board with the nails.
Yep.
And then they decide that they're gonna split up. Z is gonna stay and do like one more board of nails, and Erin was gonna go. What was she gonna go do?
She was gonna go check on the dad.
The dad, yeah, that's right. And so that's whenever she goes upstairs and she sees that dad is fucking butchered and he's dead. And then one of them, Fox, I think, pops out.
Yeah, I think it's a fox, and he comes up from behind her.
And it's the way she like throws like the cleaver basically, and like it misses him. Yeah, and then she jumps out the window so fucking fast.
I don't know if jumping through the window would be my first choice.
Yeah, I don't. That was really unknown because she didn't know how that was going to.
It reminded me very much of Sally in Texas Chainsaw Massacre, how she just kept jumping out of every single fucking window that she could. She jumped out of the second story window
that
too, and it's like fall. That's a big fall, plus the glass on your body, like you're cut up, and as we see, she that is a gigantic fucking chunk of glass.
And the way she
leg.
jumped out too, it was very like this.
Yeah,
like there's no like you're literally just propelling your body. You're gonna fall any which way. Like yeah.
I mean, she was using her elbows, I think, as like trying to like break through it to protect her face, but Yeah, I mean, it looked like she was more doing a nosedive into the ground
Exactly. Yeah.
instead of
I was
like
oh shit.
yeah.
And so yeah, she's out. She's on the ground. Obviously, it hurt because she's like, "Ugh," you know, she's got glass in her leg. And then we were
And
talking
it's a
about
giant
earlier.
fucking
Yeah,
piece of
it's
glass.
we'll see here in a second. So and she looks up, and the dude like pops his head out the window. So she
Oh,
of
yeah.
course starts running, and she gets into the
She's
there's
just hiding
like
in some brush.
Yeah, there's around their property. There's like a lot of trees, so it kind of looks like woods, kind of not. It gives stranger vibes almost a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
And
definitely.
so yeah, and so then she then finds a little place to kind of sit for a second, and she starts to take the shard of glass out of her leg, and it's
The way it
fucking
just kept
long.
coming.
It is a big piece of fucking
I was
glass.
like, when is this gonna stop? It just kept being like, bleh. I was like,
Mhm.
ugh,
I was like,
God.
how does that one even like?
and
have
the
that in
angle
their
that
body?
it was in too, because it looked very like it was going down her leg and
Yeah.
not through it.
Yeah,
Because she was like pulling it up at this, like as if it was like
yeah.
in.
It reminds me of well, kind of. I guess I can see that. I had a piece of wood that was like this long stuck in my knee like
Ugh.
one time, and I have a scar right here for it somewhere, but it's like kind of evaporate. What is evaporate? It's kind of gone away over time. Oh, it's right here,
Faded, yeah.
right here. But
ouchie.
I was I went to the my dad is really into cars, so he took us to this drag racing place all the times, like in Prairie Hill, I don't even remember. And so they had really old benches, and they were made out of wood. And so I was like 7 or 8, and I was walking up, and there was like a piece of wood, just like it was like slanted out, I guess, and I like just like ran my knee into it, and it just like went inside my body.
Oh,
And
God.
I remember I was like freaking out, and I was like, "Oh my God, it hurts so bad!" And then my dad, like, there's no like first aid out there. There's
Yeah.
nothing. So my dad like went, he like hauled me over, and like we walked to like one of the like places where they take your money, and they were like, "Do you have anything?" They didn't have anything, so he literally just like took me back to the same fucking benches and pulled it out of my leg with his fingers, and then just kind of like held it a little bit, and then we just kind of watched the show, and then he just told me not to tell my mom, and I didn't. So hopefully they never listened to this one episode.
Jesus.
But it's fine. I turned out okay. Everything was okay.
I
I guess I got a shot or something maybe for that. I don't know. It's wood though. I don't know.
Yeah. At
But
least
yeah.
I would have gone to the doctor.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of things that like I didn't go to the doctor for. Like
Mm.
this was a really big gash that like I got at like really young age because I was jumping on the bed
Uh-huh.
and they were spring cleaning, and there was a mirror, and it was one of those like, you know, mirrors you put on like a door, like whatever they're called, but it didn't have a frame, and so I
Ah.
was jumping on it, and I didn't realize that it was on the bed, and so I jumped on it, and so it and me like went off the bed, and I landed on top of it, and that shard of glass went inside me.
Ouchie.
Yeah.
Goodness. Don't jump on things.
So and so
Don't walk.
anyways, we have her pulling this glass out, and then so when she notices that, she like kind of puts it to the ground, that someone like the dude
She
that she
sees a
stabbed,
screwdriver.
yeah, that she stabbed earlier with and she
So she's like, fuck, he's nearby. And,
and
yep.
she does
he's right
look,
there.
and he's right there, and he
Mhm.
literally shoots an arrow right at her, but he just narrowly misses, and she starts running, of course, and she goes to the
little alcove that they put Drake in earlier.
Yeah.
Now she hides in it.
Mhm.
And she's just sitting there, like, quietly trying to, collect herself and, like, make a tourniquet for her.
yeah
Her wound. And so at this point, Crossboy dudes comes in through the window, and he sees the nail
Oh,
plate
yeah.
that's further out, and he's like, but I guess because of his mask, he can't see the one that's directly beneath him, and so
Mhm.
then he walks through, and he gets that nail through his fucking foot,
which is a good setup for her. It's like a fake out.
mm-hmm. And then you hear him screaming, and so then we're upstairs with Fox Guy and Felix,
And Z.
and basically Felix is like, I'm paying you for this. Can you go check that out? And the Fox Guy's like, he's kind of sassy.
I wouldn't
there.
have an attitude with the people who are like killing everybody. Like,
Yeah.
I wouldn't have an attitude with them.
Would not be rude.
Yeah. Yeah. And so that's whenever he's downstairs, he's helping the other dude pull the nail board off of his feet.
And this is where fucking Z is trying to fuck next to his dead
Oh,
mom.
that's right. It was really weird. Weird Z
Yeah.
wants to fuck next to his dead mom.
She was like, I want to fuck you on this bed next to your dead mom. And he was like, why would you say something like that?
And she's
Why
like,
would-
you never want to do anything fun.
anything interesting.
Interesting.
And it's like, he's like, what?
And he's like, I don't think that really counts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And he's like, that scene was just so like, what the fuck?
It was a little cringy.
Yeah. And then he was like, this conversation's over. And then she just kind of lays down next
And then
to the
takes
dead mom for a second.
takes her ring.
Yeah.
Takes the dead mom's ring off her finger, and it's just like,
Yeah.
It's
Fucking gross.
Yeah. Yeah. And so anyways, she's weird as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So we have the other dude taking off the nail board thing off the one guy's foot, the fox foot. And that's whenever we have the conversation of between Felix and him saying like, this was not supposed to go like this. And then the dude's like, well, my brother's dead. And then he's like, I actually liked my brother, unlike you. And that's whenever we get horrible acting from Felix again. And he's like, and I put to you, I'm like, Felix is a terrible human being. Like, 'cause he's like, I know you served together. I didn't know y'all were whatever. I'll give you his share of the money. It's only fair.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's like, okay.
Yeah. And so, yeah. And they're getting what? He's getting $500,000 to do all this? No. And so.
I mean, yeah, he could be in jail for life if they use any sort of. Like if they find any of his DNA, which he just was stabbed, and that's why Felix was like, yo, don't leave your DNA here.
And he's like, I'll clean it later. Yeah. And so then that's whenever her phone goes off and we get we get them text from 911 that her alert was received, so police would be coming on their way,
which is awesome.
Yeah, which is good, but also they're like they heard her, so he goes and it's the lamb, right? The lamb goes to like go find her. And so I love how she's hiding behind the curtain and he walks up and she just literally throat punches the heck out of him. Yeah. And so then she ends up getting to run away and she goes out the back door.
Actually, the fox goes to find her.
Oh, it's the fox? Okay, yeah.
Yeah, because the lamb guy's just who had been stabbed in the foot.
Okay. And so she punches him in the throat. She runs out the back door and she runs through a side window. Which
is really smart.
Really smart. They all go chasing and they start running outside after her, except for one of them.
Lamb guy.
And so then he goes in and.
Because he's kind of debilitated, so he's walking slower than everyone.
He can't really run anyways. Yeah. And so he's like, okay, I'm going to go to the side window as well. And then he gets there and she stabs him in the head.
Right in the face.
A screwdriver, I think, right? Or a knife, something.
She definitely stabs him, though.
Yeah, it's kind of like the skull eye area. And so he's dead. And then she...
The soundtrack here got a little distracting to me. I put one of the Stranger Things as the soundtrack.
That's, yeah.
With the 80 cents, it was like...
But it came out before Stranger Things.
Yeah.
But even by then, 80s music was making like its first wave into so like all this, you know.
It was a little much though.
It was like it was a little montage of her like making this whole
Home Alone on steroids.
And honestly too, like it never even came into play until the fucking end, and I'm like that was dumb.
Yeah.
Anyways, and so she makes this little axe swing thing basically and rigs it up. So and also too, I'm like, how does she have this much time? They were out there that long? Because that looks like it's completely took a long time. Yeah. And so anyways, she makes this little thing that's like a little axe and it's supposed to swing if anybody opens the front door, basically. And then we have Felix and oh yeah.
So they come back and they're basically like, I'm gonna make sure she didn't double back around. And we learned
that his name is John.
John. Okay. Yeah. Fox guy John is like, I'm gonna go back inside. And Z and Felix take the crossbow, but this is where I was like, how the fuck did she just have a camera?
Yeah.
How the hell? Where the hell did it come from? But now we know that it actually came from earlier.
And so because he sees her and she runs down into the basement, she knocks all the lights out, which is pretty smart. She gets this camera to go on where it takes a picture like every other second basically, and the flash is going off. So obviously the fox man is like walking down there and he's having a hard time seeing because he's getting blinded by all these flashes going off, and she literally just like out from under him just like, knocks him down with a log, I think it was.
Yeah, because that's what she knocked out the light bulbs with.
Yeah, so. She knocks him down and she starts like everyone else wailing on his head, and she is bashing that head
Goes ham once again. It was a very clever and very like fun.
It looks cool.
Yeah, it was good. I liked it.
And so then we got her killing him. So
she's killed all of the masked villains. Yeah. And now it's only Z and Felix that are left.
And so, and at that point, she knows that they're in on it as well because she overheard the conversation earlier when the whole 911 text her situation happened. And so, anyways, we have her then walking back upstairs, and Felix and Z are outside, and he uses a crossbow and he shoots at her, and they think that they get her, but they obviously don't because they don't see her body.
Yeah.
And so then they go back inside the house. He goes back to turn off the little cell phone jammer, which is very important at this point. He goes to turn that off, and so they go inside, and it's the way that a fight ensues in the kitchen between Z, her and then him coming in. And it's the way she throws water at him. He's like, it's not even hot, you dumb bitch. And then he slips on the water. And so that kind of gives her the upper hand. So she's fighting Z at this point. Z is kind of getting a few little whips in, but really, not really. Erin's winning at this point.
Yeah, Erin's kicking both their asses. I mean, and then whenever
he stabs her,
Felix gets back up. Yeah, he stabs her, which
in,
is like
in the shoulder area. But she then is able to get the best of him and knock him over, like not knock him over, but put him
knocks
towards
him out with the blender.
Yeah,
the metal blender cracks it on his head.
There you go. Yeah,
and then she turns it upside down onto his head and turns his motherfucker on and blends his little skull to death.
That's crazy.
It's pretty funny.
Yeah, it's like gotta be so fucking painful too.
Oh yeah.
And so anyways,
his face during it was so dumb.
Like he smelled something bad again. And then Z is just watching this all and she's like doing this thing where she's trying to get up,
like
she can't get up. Yeah,
because I think she was being choked out.
And then you just see Erin like turning around, and she's pissed the fuck off at this point. She's just like, no, I'm done. And she yanks that knife out of her shoulder and like does this cool little flips it over and just boom, puts
right
it
into her skull.
Z's skull.
Right into the top of it, which I'm like, damn, the power you have to have with a knife to like get through
and that
skull.
looked like a dull blade too.
Yeah, I know. I was like, it looked like a nail file.
Yeah.
Like,
and so she gets that hoe and they're dead. And then at this point she just kind of slumps down. Yeah, she slumps down. She's like, I think it's done. And then the phone, Felix's phone goes off, and it's a horrible ringtone, obviously, of course.
Yeah.
And then we have Crispin being like, is it done? Are they all dead?
And he's like, sorry,
I'm so sorry I
have
to leave.
You know, I'm a pacifist, and it's
yeah,
like, I just can't do all the violence.
Stupid. And
like,
also him just talking to like not even anybody responding, because then he's like, Felix, talk to me.
I can hear you breathing on the line.
And so then we have him coming in, and Erin's just like waiting for him there with the phone. And she's just like, she doesn't even say anything, but obviously her face is like, what the fuck? And then he's like trying to like make it like seem like, we can take the money, like it's okay, like we can do everything we ever wanted, things gonna be fine.
He's like, we could go on a vacation to Paris, and I'm like, that wouldn't be fucking suspicious as hell.
For
your
real.
whole family being mass murdered, and then you're just gonna go on a vacation.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, for sure.
And so then
I also love the way he asked, where's Felix? And she was like, I stabbed him in the head with the blender and killed him.
Yeah. Yeah, literally. And he's like, okay.
He's like, okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's when he was like, we needed a witness that like didn't have any motive, and that was supposed to be you. And how was I supposed to know that you were like some survivalist, whatever?
Yeah, that he was like, how were we supposed to know that you were really good at killing people?
Yeah.
He basically says that if she like, that it was actually a very important part of his plan that she wasn't going to get hurt, and if she had just acted normal, then this would have played out correctly.
Yeah.
But she's a fucking badass. She just went ham on all of them, killed them all.
And so he's basically just like pleading at this point for his life, but she's like, nah, and she kills him.
Yeah, he was like, think logically, and I'm like, this is not the time for logic right now, you motherfucker. You just like endangered her life, everyone's lives. Like, well, you got all these people murdered.
Yeah,
and so
she goes ham.
Yep.
And then as soon as she's
right in the neck,
she's killing him, and then obviously an officer is looking right through the window, is like, hey, and then shoots her, but he shoots her right in the shoulder.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, I thought she's dead.
Fucked,
yeah.
Stabbed and shot.
Yeah.
And also, whenever she stabs him, he goes, why? And she goes, why the fuck not? And then that's when she gets shot. And I was like, hell yeah, bitch. Why the fuck not? That's right.
Mm-hmm. And then she ends up kind of coming to a little bit, and that's whenever we have the police officer wanting to go in through the front door, and she's like screaming no, and then obviously the officer gets axed,
and then it goes right to you're next in blood.
We're done, and that's the end of the movie, you guys.
Yeah, I was like, I swear to God, if this bitch doesn't live, fuck it, I'm gonna be mad.
I would have been pissed off too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Whenever she got shot, I was like, oh my God, no.
Yeah, I know. I was like, all of that for her to go down by a fucking cop.
But I get it though too. If someone were to walk in on that, that's really like, everyone else is dead but you.
Yeah, and especially after hearing why the fuck not? Like, it's not a good look for her. But anyways, how many boos would you give this film?
I would give this a 3.8.
3.8?
Yeah.
Why is that?
I really enjoyed it. I remember when I first watched it, really enjoying it. I didn't catch the twist before it became a twist, so it did give me a good little shock. And then in watching it now, I just also too, I really love Erin. Like, she makes the movie.
She's badass.
She's so badass, and the way that she takes everybody out, I like the deaths. The deaths are all pretty cool. Kelly, her even killing like the guys, like it's all pretty like satisfying when she gets to, because you're like, yes, like the bad guys are getting it.
Yeah.
And then other than like the little 80s montage and then some of the acting, like the dialogue, because I don't even want to say it was a mix of script and delivery, because it wasn't like the best writing or anything either.
That's true.
So but yeah, overall, like, it was really entertaining. I liked it. It's pretty digestible. It's like an hour and a half, like, you know, right in that sweet spot. And yeah, I like it. I would recommend it. I think it's a good film. I'd probably watch it again, to be honest.
It is an easy watch. That's for sure. So I think the reason that I did catch everything beforehand, and this movie came out after, and obviously this is the first time that I have watched this film, it highly reminded me of Ready or Not.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Where everyone brings their like partners home and they have to like fight for their lives basically in order to like they have to sacrifice someone in order
the
to
one where the
appease.
people explode at the end.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
really comical. But like the moment all of them were bringing their new boyfriends and girlfriends and
that's
stuff,
what it reminded you.
I was like, yeah, no, someone is in on it in this family, and they're gonna. I think that's what gave it away for me.
Yeah,
is because
I've never seen Ready or Not,
but
okay. I know which one you're talking about.
It's. I saw it in theaters, and it was pretty funny. I remember I had this. I saw it alone. I just because I like to go to the movies alone.
Yeah.
And this other lady was sitting next to me, and she was like commentating on it, and she was like, "Oh, girl, you bet no, like don't go in there." Oh, bitch, like the
That's
whole
hilarious.
time. And typically I would be like upset if somebody was like talking during a movie the whole time, but I was just like, no, your commentary, I'm living for this.
That's perfect.
Because she was saying what all of us were thinking.
I can see though, because I've never seen that movie, but I've seen like a YouTube like shorts video on it kind of thing, and so I know what kind of the gist of it, so I can see that. Yeah.
And I think that's why from the get I was like, because the first go around, like I took the notes the second time, but I basically was trying to like go off of what I remembered, how I reacted. And yeah, the first time I was just like, yeah, no, one of these motherfuckers is in on it. I think I would I was thinking a 2. It wasn't my favorite. I do like, I don't feel bad for watching it. I did watch it twice, obviously, but I don't know. Maybe I would give it like a 2.3 for just because Erin is such a badass.
A 2.3?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you got to give some in there for Erin.
Yeah, I did like her. She was a boss ass bitch. She came in and like fucking nailed it. A lot of the times, quite literally.
So that would make it an overall like 3.
Yeah.
3. We'll give
overall
it a 3.
good film. Yeah. It just like I had
middle of
said
the
throughout the.
Yeah.
I did like a lot of the deaths. I thought a lot of them were pretty creative.
Yeah.
So I did like that. It was just a lot of the acting for me, and I don't know, it was a little predictable. But maybe it wouldn't have been if I hadn't seen other films that were pretty similar in the past.
Before this one.
Yeah. And so like maybe if I had watched it in 2011 or 2013
before
whenever
watching
it came
Ready or
out,
Not.
yeah, that maybe I would have been a little bit more shocked or surprised. And the masks, they were pretty creepy. That nothing I think will ever be as unsettling as Potato Sack Man.
It's true.
But it was still good. And I mean, I did like a lot of it. It just was chaotic, and I was like, y'all are a fucking mess.
Children.
You can't even, y'all are just bickering
Can't
the
even
whole
survive
time.
together.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Anyways, but yeah, so there you have it, a 2.3 and a 3.8.
3.8.
Yeah,
We're just
from your booze. So a 3.
3. I'll
From
give
your
it a
BooBaes.
3. Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
Right in the middle.
But as always, we are in the lovely Rogue Media Network studios.
Mm-hmm.
They take great care of us every single time. And if you want to listen to us or any of the other wonderful podcasts on Rogue Media Network, you can find them at
roguemedianetwork.com.
That's right.
Or you can also listen on all of your like podcasting platforms like Apple Podcasts.
And Spoofy.
And there's a whole mix of other places in there as well.
Wherever you want.
And If you want to follow us, we are on one social media, which is Instagram, and that is at
BooBaes Podcast, and that's all one word. That's BOOBAES, it's BooBaes, not BooBabes.
Yeah.
Because we're your BooBaes. I'm not used to that part.
Oh, you did great.
But wherever you do listen, don't forget to
rate, review, like, and subscribe.
That's right, because that is the only way we can get ahead anywhere.
Please tell everybody.
Tell word of mouth.
And we're going to be getting close to spooky season all over again. It's going to be here before you know it.
I know.
So I'm so
excited. Yeah, lots of things to look forward to.
And should we tell them about next week's movie?
That's right. We should. Next week, we are going to watch a classic.
The Babadook.
The Babadook. And we are going to watch it on Shudder because I know for sure it's on there.
Mm-hmm. And you can start your free trial and watch it with us.
Yeah.
And hopefully you'll probably love Shudder and you can stick with it and you can watch all the horror movies you'd love to watch. Shout out Shudder.
Yeah, shout out Shudder.
Shout out Shudder. # sponsor us. All right.
Well, until next time.
Bye, Baes.
Bye,
This has been a Rogue Media podcast.
Are you a podcaster? Let's talk podcast hosting. Are you tired of your current podcast host? Need real support in a community that gets it? At Rogue Media Network, we offer top-tier podcast hosting services to help you thrive. From hosting and distribution to dedicated support, we've got you covered. Starting as low as $25 a month. Join our community of passionate podcasters today. Contact us at hello@roguemedianetwork.com.